case almost too terrifying to mention Cassie Joe's Stoddart.
Brian and Tori both harbored a dark fascination with serial killers. They loved watching imaginary on-screen murderers, and Tori was especially obsessed with the Scream movies. Their taste...
Oh, chat. Why is it that every single time that niggas who do this shit, they look like this?
And then he says, "We are sick psychopaths who get their pleasure off killing other people." Tori replies,
"Bro,
that sounds good, baby." The tape ends with Brian saying, "Murder is power. Murder is freedom."
How is this shit real, bro? How is this shit even real? Alright, let's watch this video real quick. A case almost too terrifying to mention Cassie Joe's Stoddart. This shit's 30 minutes long. Might be pretty crazy. Let's watch these.
There'd be no odds against killing people. You restrict somebody from it, they're gonna want it more.
Dude, I just killed Cassie.
On September 22nd, 2006, Cassie Jo Stoddart was house-sitting.
Wait a minute. What the fuck? Where's the other guy's voice? Who's the narrator here, bro? What happened to the other guy? He has a better voice. Damn, bro. They switched narrators for this video? That's ass. I'm not gonna enjoy it as much.
For her aunt and uncle who were out of town. To help pass the time, she decided to invite over her boyfriend Matt, as well as their two male friends, Brian and Tori. The group sat down to watch Kill Bill.
No, Isaiah.
However, before the movie was over, Brian and Tori departed, saying that they wanted to catch a movie at the cinema instead. Cassie bid the pair farewell and settled back into the movie with her boyfriend, blissfully unaware that tonight was the night a long-planned, sinister plot was to take place, and that each second that ticked by as she sat inside the house brought her closer to her doom. Cassie's night was about to become a real-life horror film, and a chilling lesson to the world to be careful who you trust. Be warned. The topics
that goes for Squid Games too, chat. Careful who you trust.
Extremely disturbing. Let's get into it.
Don't trust nobody.
Brian Lee Draper and Tori Michael Adamczyk were best friends.
I'm sorry. Hold up. What's the first guy's name? What's the first guy's name? Hold on, wait. What?
Brian Lee Draper and Tori. Let's get into it. Brian Lee Draper and Tori.
Brian Lee what? Is that his last name? Oh, Draper. Oh. So it's Brian Lee Draper. Oh. I had thought it was something else. Well, interesting. Okay.
Tori Michael Adamczyk were best friends. Both born in 1990, only a few months apart. They met and became buddies when Brian moved from Utah to small-town Idaho, where the two teens would spend their days together as juniors at Pocatello High School. Both boys were somewhat of misfits, and though they largely kept to themselves, they bonded over their love of film and were, for the most part, one another's only close friends. Except, that is, for Cassie and Matt. Born in December 1989, 16-year-old Cassie Jo Stoddart was a classmate of both Brian and Tori. And although by all accounts she seemed to be the polar opposite of the reclusive boys, a vibrant and outgoing young lady with a passion for music and drawing, she became a good friend to the pair. Adored by family and teachers alike, and preparing to go to college with hopes to study law, it's no wonder that Cassie's younger brother said she was his role model. Born and raised in Pocatello, Cassie was a typical teenager who worked hard in her classes and enjoyed spending time with her boyfriend.
So, wait. So you're telling me that there are actually people in this world who live in Idaho? Niggas actually spend their time to live in Idaho, bro. You know, just over here, just eating potatoes and all that stuff. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. I'm sorry. I feel bad for niggas who had to live there.
Beckham. Matt knew Tori since the previous school year, and he'd met Brian all the way.
And that goes for y'all on YouTube too. Yeah, I'm talking to y'all niggas on YouTube. You feel me? Y'all, if y'all live in Idaho, sorry, not sorry, but it's just a sad place to live, bro. I'm sorry for y'all.
Back in 7th grade. Some sources say that Brian and Tori made friends with Cassie while joking around in class. Many thought that Brian had a crush on the girl and was jealous of her relationship with Matt. What nobody knew, though, is that Cassie's trusted friends were brewing a deadly plan. And she was their target. You see, Brian and Tori both harbored a dark fascination with serial killers. They loved watching imaginary on-screen murderers, and Tori was especially obsessed with the Scream movies. Their taste...
Chat. Why is it that every single time that niggas who do this shit, they look like this? You see that? Why is it every single time niggas do some shit like this, they look like this? Every single time. You cannot make this up. You literally cannot make this shit up, bro. I don't know what it is, but it's just, you know, yeah. I'm not trying to make it a race thing, but yeah, I feel you.
Movies. Their tastes also transcended to real life, as they admired notorious figures such as Ted Bundy, the Hillside Strangler, and the Zodiac Killer.
Both
boys wanted their own taste of the spotlight that infamous killers had received. With their uncanny, dark interests aligning, Brian and Tori only strengthened and encouraged one another's desires for violence, and soon enough, they made a concrete plan for their first kill. On August 31st, 2006, Tori asked an 18-year-old friend to purchase a few knives for him, pretending that he wanted to start a collection. Brian and Tori drove their friend to a pawn shop, where Tori carefully selected one knife, and Brian chose 3. Here's where things get even weirder.
Ain't no way.
The friends' hunger for glory and fame was a top priority, and thus, they began filming videos of themselves planning their crimes. Some of the boys' ensuing videotapes aren't available to the public to watch, but their transcripts can be found online. One from September 21st was filmed around 8 p.m. by Brian in the passenger seat while Tori drove. They seemed to be discussing an unknown prospective female victim. Brian brags, "We're going for a high death count. We're going to make history. We're gonna make history."
Nigga, what?
Tori chimes in while laughing. "For all you FBI agents watching this, you weren't quick enough." Brian again, "You weren't quick enough and you weren't smart enough. And we're going over to Redacted's house. We're going to snoop around over there and try to see if she's home alone or not. And if she's home alone, splat. She's dead." This
again. Look, I just want to show y'all just one more time. No, the type of people that do shit like this. You know, just one more time. They look like this. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure y'all know. You know, the type of people that do shit like this. Just letting y'all know. All right.
To see if she's home alone, and if she's home alone, splat. She's dead. This clip was taken around the same time.
There should be no law against killing people. I know it's a wrong thing.
What?
Hell, you restrict somebody from it, they're gonna want it more.
They move on to discuss...
Bro, what? Nah, bro. What is good, bro? Where did they find these dudes, bro? Where do they find these dudes? This man just said there should be no laws for killing people. Nah, bro. I can't
And to
do
drive
it.
to their house, lure
I
Matt
can't do it,
outside,
bro.
and kill him. 15 minutes later, this video was recorded.
We found our victim, and sad as it may be, she's our friend. But you know what? We all have to make sacrifices. Our first victim is going to be Cassie Stoddart. She's going to be alone in a big, dark house out in the middle of nowhere. How perfect can you get? I mean, like, holy dude.
I'm horny just thinking about it.
Hell yeah.
Directly after, the video transcription shows the boys talking about another unnamed female. They say she's home alone, so they might go kill her, and then drive to Cassie's house to, quote, kill them one by one. Tori says,
What?
one by one? Why can't it be a slaughterhouse? Brian responds, 2 by 2 and 3 by 3, 'cause we've got to keep it classy. Later adding, so yeah, it's going to be extra fun. And then he says, we are 6 psychopaths who get their pleasure off killing other people. Tori replies,
Bro.
that sounds good, baby. The tape ends with Brian saying, murder is power, murder is freedom.
How is this shit real, bro? How is this shit even real? I legit feel like I see this shit. I see like lines like this in a horror movie. This, bro, it sounds so ridiculous that this is actually a true story. Niggas over here talking about murder is power, murder is freedom, goodbye. Like, what the fuck is the matter with you? You sick in the head? Like, bro, like I keep asking this. I ask this question every single time I see shit like this happen. Where were the parents in all this, huh? Where are the parents? Do they not realize that y'all raised 2 psycho ass, sociopathic ass niggas? Do y'all not realize that, or y'all knew, but y'all just didn't bother to, like, you know, I don't know, put 2 and 2 together. Incest, probably, maybe, I don't know.
But it wouldn't be until the next day that the partners in crime would actually enact their horrible plan. In the morning at school, they caught Cassie on tape at her locker.
You actually gonna do it? Oh, yeah? Hey, look, it's Cassie. Hey, look, hello, Cassie. I'm getting you on tape, okay? Say hi, please. Hi. Okay, see ya.
Later,
Like
at
those slurs?
around noon, they skipped
They
class
probably are.
to
They
film
probably were
this
racist.
chilling video.
I mean, they were here willing to kill people for fun, but they're definitely racist in some way.
We're skipping the next 4th hour. We're not even plan right now. I'm just going to Cassie's family.
My God,
Yeah,
bro.
one.
Bro, I'm telling you, chat. Bro, I swear to you on everything I love. Bro, back in high school, I remember like bro, niggas used to like just go. I remember just going through the hallways and seeing people like this just walk by, and I'm like, yo, them niggas look like they'll. It sounds fucked up to say. It sounds fucked up to say because I mean, obviously I know most people would never do that shit, but seeing niggas like this walk by, I'm like, yo. If one dude says or does the wrong thing to these niggas, they are fucking unloading the whole clip on this school, bro. Them niggas gonna unload the whole clip. It's one of them, bro. It's one of them. I'm telling you, bro. Just look the other way. Don't fuck with them. Just don't fuck with them, bro. That's all I gotta say.
We have to stick with the plan. She's perfect, so she's gonna die.
Again, parts of this tape are only available through transcripts. They apparently pause for a while, uttering, "She's watching us." Paranoid that a teacher is listening in, Brian loudly asks, "Number 2 is what?" Likely trying to feign a study session. Later, Brian says, "Yeah, if you're watching this, we're probably deceased. Hopefully this will go smoothly, and we can get our first kill done and then keep going." The boys eerily wish good luck to future serial killers watching the tape and lament that they've tried to strike 10 times already, but their targets weren't home alone. But now, Brian says their patience is about to pay off. Later that night, Friday, September 22nd, Cassie got ready to fulfill the first night of her weekend-long house-sitting duty at the abandoned residence on Whispering Cliffs Drive in Bannock County. She didn't have much to do besides care for the family's 3 cats and 2 dogs, so she was grateful to have some company when Matt arrived. Later, they were joined by Brian and Tori. Before the group sat down to enjoy a film, Cassie gave her guests the grand tour of the home, showing them around all the rooms and even the basement. What Cassie didn't know was that Brian and Tori's eventual excuse of leaving to hit up the local movie theater was a complete lie. As the boys exited the home, they deliberately unlocked the basement door so that they could be able to re-enter undetected.
Oh my God.
The boys departed briefly, but not for long. They drove back to the neighborhood and parked down the street.
Oh my God.
In a videotape, Brian explained, "We're here in his car. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our 2 friends. Yep, we're really nervous right now, but we're ready." This clip is from the same videotape.
What kind of psychotic shit is this?
50, September 22nd, 2006. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I unlocked the back doors. It's all locked. Now we just gotta wait.
They talk about listening to Pink Floyd, calling them the greatest rock band ever, and say they've waited for this a long time. The boys donned specific costumes for their exploit, consisting of dark clothes, gloves, and white masks seemingly inspired by the Scream movies. Just as planned, they slinked back into the basement through the unlocked door. But they didn't attack right away. First, they wanted to gain some sick satisfaction out of scaring the couple. Cassie and Matt were still watching TV when they started hearing loud noises. These noises were made by Brian and Tori in a bid to lure their friends downstairs. They reportedly broke 2 ashtrays on the stairs leading down to the basement. But when this didn't work, the insidious intruders took it a step further, locating a circuit breaker and turning off the home's power. Still, although they were growing increasingly unnerved, Cassie and Matt did not venture downstairs to check out the strange occurrences. One of Cassie's uncle's dogs was freaking out, pacing back and forth and staring intently down towards the basement, barking and growling. But Cassie and her boyfriend never suspected that what the dog was sensing was their own trusted friends. As the couple didn't seem to be reacting, the boys restored some of the lights in the house. Despite their efforts to shake off the creeping feeling gnawing at them, Cassie and Matt just couldn't relax after all the bizarre signs. Matt wanted to be there for Cassie, and he phoned his mother to ask for permission to spend the night at the house with his frightened girlfriend. His mom said she wouldn't allow it, but she kindly offered that Cassie could come home with them and spend the night, assuring that she would drop her back off in the morning to continue her house-sitting. Cassie likely wished she could take her up on this offer and ride away to spend the night safe and sound at her boyfriend's home. But responsible as ever, she reluctantly had to decline. Cassie felt it was important to follow through on her promise.
I don't know. It doesn't say.
To watch over her uncle's property and pets. And so, Matt's mother came on schedule to pick up her son at around 10:30 p.m. And as the lights of the vehicle faded into the distance, Cassie knew she had to overcome her fear and face the night alone. At some point, Matt called Tori to check up on where he and Brian were, but he noticed something odd when Tori picked up. He was whispering, and Matt could barely make out what he was saying. Matt shrugged it off, assuming the boys were simply at the movie theater as they had said. Knowing that Matt was gone, Brian and Tori once again turned out the lights in a last effort to make Cassie come to them so they could surprise their unsuspecting victim. But when she didn't show up, their patience quickly ran dry. They made their way upstairs. Brian held a dagger while Tori was equipped with a hunting knife. After ascending the staircase, Brian sadistically opened and slammed a nearby closet door in order to startle Cassie, who was lying down on the living room couch.
These niggas are sick.
As she approached to see what was going on, Cassie allegedly spoke. "Who is that? I'll kick your ass." Then, the boys descended upon the helpless girl, stabbing her approximately 30 times, with 12 of the wounds being potentially fatal.
Nigga, 30 times? 30 times, my nigga? What the fuck is wrong with people, bro? Like I said, chat, it's a crazy ass world we live in, dude. People are so crazy. Like, you'd be surprised about, you'd be surprised how vast this world is and how many crazy ass people like this there are, bro. That shit is scary to me. That shit is scary. Very, very scary.
Brian and Tori quickly fled the gruesome scene and began driving to a rural area to hide the evidence. One might think that the teenage boys would sit in solemn shock as the reality that they just murdered their friend hit them. But this video they filmed during the drive shows how they truly felt.
I just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a joke.
I'm shaking.
I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie. That felt like it wasn't real. I mean, it went by so fast.
Shut the up. We gotta get our act straight.
Okay.
Reportedly, the boys then went to buy movie tickets that they hoped would serve as their alibi. And then, after driving out to a remote area, the boys...
Bro, and why are they talking about it like it's... Like they just went on a roller coaster or some shit. It's like, yo, bro, oh my god, I just went on a roller coaster. Oh my god, bro, it felt so fast, bro. They're talking about like they talking about like it was a fun thing they just did, bro. That's not normal behavior. That is not normal behavior. They're sociopaths, fucking paths, bro. Their brains cannot process empathy. They're crazy.
Placed their weapons and clothing in a bag and set it on fire. Matt had told Cassie he'd call her when he got home, but when he tried to reach her phone at 12:15 a.m., he didn't receive a response. With a sinking feeling, he ended up calling her another 15 times that Saturday morning. Cassie's mother was also attempting to reach her through calls and texts, but Cassie never replied. In an eerie twist...
Bro, that shit's scary too, bro. Bro. Chat. Imagine, like, let's say you're calling your mom or, like, your homeboy or even your girl or some shit like that. And you call them, like, a bunch of times. And you're always just wondering, like, you know, let's say you call them, like, 5 times and they never answer. You're just wondering what happened to them, bro. Like, you think, like, oh, maybe their phone is dead or they're not near their phone. But it's like, dude, you don't know what could happen, bro. And... me personally, I don't like to really think about that, but just imagine, bro. I would hate to like, you know, call up my mom or some shit like that, and you know she's not answering it, and not even know the fact that she's dead or some shit. That'd be fucking horrible, bro. I hope y'all. I hope none of y'all in here have to ever experience that. That must be horrible, bro.
Twist, Matt hung out with Tori and his family on Saturday evening. Not once having any inkling that less than 24 hours before, his good friends had viciously plunged a knife into his girlfriend's body. Perhaps Matt figured that Cassie was simply busy with her house-sitting job, but the more time that passed, the more nervous he got, even asking Tori to give him a ride back to the Whispering Cliffs house. Tori declined, stating that he didn't have enough gas for the trip. So Matt accepted his excuse and spent the night at Tori's house. Sunday was the last day Cassie was supposed to house sit. And at about 1:15 p.m., her aunt and uncle returned from their trip to relieve her. They were surprised to find the doors all open and broken glass at the bottom of the stairs, but nothing could have prepared them for the grisly sight awaiting them upstairs.
Oh my God.
Horrifyingly, it was none other than the family's 13-year-old daughter who first stumbled upon the corpse of her cousin Cassie. Almost immediately after, Cassie's uncle screamed, "Call 911.
Bro, her 13, bro. Her sister found her body first, bro. Holy shit. Bro, God bless her soul. Oh my God.
Somebody is dead on our floor."
Oh my God.
Cassie's body was on the floor in front of the TV, blood behind her head and left leg. Her left pinky almost cut completely off.
Come on, Cassie, how you doing,
As her
bro?
aunt frantically checked her lifeless body and spoke to the 911 operator, Cassie's mother and stepdad pulled up outside. Her uncle solemnly informed them that their beloved daughter was dead. The small town community was shaken by such a terrifying crime, and investigators scrambled to catch Cassie's killers as soon as possible. Initially suspecting the two boys' involvement due to the fact that they were among the last people to see Cassie alive, detectives went to Tori's home on September 24th to speak with him about the matter. Tori innocently claimed that he and Brian had simply left the house that Friday night after realizing that there wouldn't be a party as they had expected. But when asked about the movie the two boys supposedly went to see at the theater, he couldn't recall any details. The next day, the detectives went to visit Brian. Whether out of genuine sadness or just a big show of feigned emotion, he apparently started crying before basically corroborating the story Tori had told. However, he specifically named the movie Pulse, as the film the boys had gone to see. So, authorities found it very odd when he was also completely unable to describe anything that happened in the movie. On the following day, Brian was interviewed further at the Pocatello Police Department. But he once again could not describe the movie plot whatsoever, and detectives told him up front that they did not believe he actually went to the theater. Brian cracked and admitted that they were right, but maintained that he and Tori had actually been stealing from cars during that time. Brian's parents soon gave permission for his room to be searched by law enforcement. They found a knife sheath under his bed. Brian said it belonged to a friend. Finally, in a third interview, Brian came clean.
Fucking idiots.
Well, almost clean. He revealed almost everything, but said that after they slammed the upstairs door to scare Cassie, and Tori walked forward and stabbed her, he thought they must be playing a joke on him, until he saw her real wounds. He assured officers that he only stood watching, quote, and wondered what Adam Chick was doing because it was supposed to be a joke. He denied stabbing or even touching Cassie, although when later asked by a detective if he had stabbed Cassie in order to keep Tori from turning on him, Brian quickly jumped on this excuse and argued with this statement, alleging that Tori kept...
That is definitely fucking cap. Definitely cap as fuck. Bruh, them videos, all them videos y'all niggas recorded and shit. Nah, y'all showed y'all true colors and them shits. Y'all really had intentions to kill her. Ain't no damn prank. Try to save your own ass, bro.
Repeating, "You need to stab her. You need to stab her." And that's when Brian stabbed her in the leg.
Shit.
He claims Tori said, "It's not gonna work. She has to die." Brian eventually led investigators to Black Rock Canyon, where he and Tori had rid themselves of the evidence. Among the items was a Sony videotape, which would later be repaired to render it playable. And this would be the crucial piece of evidence that gave law enforcement everything they needed. On September 27th, Tori was brought to the police department for a second interview. And though he tried to stick to his flimsy story, detectives were quick to cut to the chase. letting the teen know that they already knew what had happened. Tori's father hesitantly asked his son if what they were saying was true. The boy nodded yes. Brian Draper and Tori Adamczyk were arrested on September 27, 2006, just 5 days after Cassie was slain. The charges: first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. At trial,
look at here, bro. If them niggas got anything less than life in prison, I'll be very shocked. But also, I mean, you don't. I would understand why it would happen at the same time too, because y'all know why. I mean, not this reason why, but you know what I mean. But yeah.
the videotapes Brian and Tori had smugly recorded were shown as a demonstration of their meticulous planning and giddy excitement at the prospect of getting blood on their hands. The prosecution also emphasized the boys' disturbing fascination with the Columbine shooters and the Scream horror franchise. The case itself was dubbed the Scream Murder Case, due to the boys' fascination with the movie.
The Scream Murder
On April
case.
17th, 2007, Brian was found guilty. Tori was convicted on June 8th. Then, on August 21st, almost a full year since their crime, they each received a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole for first-degree murder.
Let's go!
An additional 30 years to life as they were convicted of conspiracy to commit
Let's
murder.
go!
In the car on the way to
Finally, the
prison,
system does something
pals
good.
chose to
For
sit
once.
together and chat,
W
telling each
system.
other they had held no animosity towards one another, despite having turned against each other during interrogations to shift blame. The lieutenant driving them said, "They asked me a couple of times if I could let them go. We're just stupid kids. Can't you let us go?" But despite once gloating so freely about the dark deeds they'd committed, Brian and Tori have allegedly attempted to appeal their sentences in favor of more lenient ones. In 2010 and 2011, the boys' attorneys filed separate appeals at the state Supreme Court for their clients. Brian was apparently hoping his conviction would be vacated, or that he could be given a limited life sentence which would allow for his release on parole after just 30 years. At one point, Tori also reportedly claimed that his sentence was cruel and unusual punishment. The first appeal was denied. However, Brian's conviction on conspiracy to commit first-degree murder was apparently vacated on the grounds that the jury were given erroneous instructions concerning that charge. But Brian's first-degree murder conviction and the life sentence without parole that came with it remained. Years later, in 2015, Tori gained a hearing for post-conviction relief, at which he allegedly claimed that his former attorney had neglected to call upon character witnesses that Tori's parents had pushed for, the testimonies of whom they and Tori believed could have changed the outcome of the initial sentencing. The judge denied this request as well, and although Tori once again appealed this decision in 2017, the Idaho Supreme Court similarly rejected his attempts. Tori was still persistent, and in 2018 filed a federal writ of habeas corpus and allegedly further argued that he should be entitled to a new sentencing hearing because of a 2012 U.S. Supreme Court ruling, which determined that mandatory sentences of life without the possibility of parole are unconstitutional for juvenile offenders, even in cases of murder. In 2016, another similar
Bro, there should definitely be some silver lining behind that shit. Bro, it's obviously clear that people like that, even if they're jit, they cannot be physically in society. You understand that? They literally cannot be in society, bro. They are fucking crazy. Like, that don't make no sense, bro.
Decision ruled that this doctrine had to be applied retroactively to past cases, and that a review of all such cases should be conducted. As many as 1,500 cases nationwide will be given a second look due to this decision, including that of Brian and Tori, under the presumption that youths with developing brains are capable of change. Looking forward, it is entirely possible that Brian and Tori's cases will receive updates as they are given a second look. Still, regardless of the boys' ages, Bannock County Sheriff Lauren Nielsen has mused. This would rate, if not the top, real close to the top of all the incidents we have had to deal with. Senseless, premeditated killing for the thrill of killing. All of those things that scare you the most. This was one of them. Nielsen also stated, "I still don't quite understand what led both of them to do this. I know the mother doesn't think her child did anything wrong, but I can guarantee you that they were both involved. This was planned. They had a list of others. This was evil, just pure evil." Although the loss of such a beautiful soul is of course the most devastating tragedy caused by Brian and Tori's demented actions, the scars still left on Cassie's loved ones to this day also cannot be ignored. Shortly after the murder was discovered, Cassie's brother Andrew recalls being surrounded by crying neighbors as one of them told his stepdad that he had to tell the boy what was going on. After his stepdad got out the truth through his sobs, Andrew dropped his phone and fell to the ground. "I didn't even know how to process it," he said. "I thought, is this really going on right now? I just broke down." After that, he didn't return to school for weeks, and later said that it took the family years before they could even talk about the whole ordeal. As for Cassie's aunt and uncle, they had reportedly moved their family into the now notorious Whispering Cliffs residence just a year before the murder, and they had been ecstatic to make memories in their dream home. Despite the new carpet and fresh paint adorning the once cozy home, the couple says they never wanted to go back there. Cassie's uncle, Frank Contreras, has lamented that the overbearing sadness this incident left their family with never truly healed. His wife reportedly lost her job and fell into depression. Frank explained, "I had to pick up a second job. Medication alone was $300 a month. The first 2 years were the worst. It was our dream home, and it turned into a nightmare."
Literally subhumans. They are literally subhumans. They don't deserve to live. They don't deserve life. Oh no, they deserve life, but they don't deserve to live.
Frank's stepdaughter later attempted to end her own life after having a breakdown related to the trauma of stumbling upon Cassie's remains. The family desperately wants to leave the home behind and start fresh, but although they have put the house on the market every single year, no offers have been made as of a 2014 report. According to the Idaho State Journal, quote, "Each member of the family claimed to have had an unexplained encounter in the home. It is unclear how the broken family is faring these days." Some who knew Brian and Tori assert that they never would have imagined that the normal teenage boys could be capable of such deplorable crimes.
Happy birthday, dude.
Cassie's case is a chilling one, and it really makes you wonder what dark secrets those you think you know could be hiding just under the surface.
It's crazy ass world we live in, chat. I can't believe that's actually a thing, dude. Niggas is really out here murdering fucking what's it called? Just murdering innocent people and enjoying it. It's like, what the fuck is the matter with you, bro?